Hello. Hi, Positive Posse. I have been busy growing, busy sowing seeds, busy doing all of the things that correlates to my alignment and my purpose. Now, this video is specifically for social workers. If you are a social worker or on the social work journey, I advise you to subscribe to this channel. I'll have a few more videos lined up in regards to my social work journey, how I found my placement, what to look for in a placement, and how to create your own contract with a placement. If you did not know, I am Positive Ashley. I have been a doula since 2018, almost a decade, and my background is environmental health, master's in public health, and I'm also getting a master's in social work. Now, what led me to social work was really being a doula, and over the past few years, I have wanted to deepen my practice in serving Black maternal health and child health, and specifically focusing on postpartum. That was already a niche for me, but now that I've become a mom, I'm seeing more of the misaligned bridges that happens from that labor to postpartum, and where some of the resources drop and where some things that we can do better. So my goal as a prospective social worker is to focus in micro, macro, and meso. So what does that mean? Pretty much I want to work with the community one-on-one. Macro, I want to expand in case management and advocacy, and then meso, which is the community aspect, bridging those stakeholder partnerships and policy work. Now, I may have gotten the macro and meso mixed together, but I'm currently doing all those things, and I have found my specific passion through this internship that I've gotten. So your girl just wrapped up 480 hours of free labor, which I do not recommend. If you are in a social work program, I recommend that you definitely find placement where you are getting at least a stipend, because if you didn't know, I'm in Los Angeles. Gas isn't cheap, the cost of living isn't cheap, but these hours need to get done. So if you want to learn a little bit more about how to find a placement with stipends and whatnot, I'll tell you the pros and cons of how my school did and did not assist me with doing that, but I'll give you what I know so that way you don't have to do free labor. Now, I'm always for serving for the community and putting the bid in and getting it out the mud. But definitely as a 30-something-year-old, working for free is not my thing, but I definitely feel like I've gained a lot of knowledge here and got the experience that I needed to tailor my experience as a social worker in the niche that I want to go towards. So where I am currently in the Harmony Center. This is a center where MSWs come together to do group or individual therapy services. Now, what makes my school so cool is that the school's mission and vision is fulfilled based on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Now, if you know anything or do not know anything about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, this is pretty much a pyramid of needs that scale up, but the baseline of needs is security, food, and feeling safe. And it has been studies being done that if someone is in fight or flight mode, does not feel secure, does not feel safe, and not getting the adequate food and nutrition that they're supposed to, all the other things that would make someone grow and glow, it kind of gets trampled around that low bottom area. So the fact that this school was built and the vision is around catering to families and children who have low economical financial needs, may be unhoused or in between housing, that really touches my heart, especially in the housing crisis that we are in around America, especially LA. I love that that is our service. So one of the things that the school does, if I did mention, I'm at the Amazing Crete Academy in Los Angeles, California. You may have heard of it in the news. Really down the street, like maybe 2 or 3 blocks away from the Marathon clothing store, or was the Marathon clothing store of Nipsey, and Fatburger down the street. I've been servicing here, but one of the things that the school has implemented in the programming is a Harmony Center, and this is a center where kids can come talk to MSWs. And I'll give you a little tour, but you can come talk to us, give therapeutic services that the parents typically sign off during enrollment, and really just getting to that safety parameter of you feel seen, you feel heard, and if you're having a hard day, this is where we come to unpack. Now, of course, if there's multiple students, if it's not outside of group therapy, we're taking them to different rooms, but this is the room of harmony. The other thing that I really love about this internship is that we also have an on-site pantry. So all of the families that may struggle with food, or maybe don't have EBT, or whatever, there's no prerequisites to come to this food pantry every Wednesday. That's why I'm dressed a little down. I was just at the food pantry that I'll give a tour of once I'm done with this video. But the food pantry happens 2 to 4. You do not have to be a student. You do not have to be a parent who has a student here. It's open to the community in between 2 to 4, and we give over 200 boxes of food every week of good quality stuff like eggs, multigrain bread, fruit, vegetables, all of the things, and there's really good quality things there. But that is one of the amazing things. So that way we're giving back to that need of safety. Oh, I thought it was an earthquake. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but I thought it was an earthquake. It was time to get under a table, if so. But that's one of the needs that we are fulfilling, so that way when it comes to nutrition or food, that is one thing that parents don't have to think about. Now, of course, if parents are still at work, it may be hard for them to come get the distribution of food, but as long as you have a family member that comes, more than welcome. And get this, if you, your husband, and your baby are in the car, all 3 of you get a box. So that's more food to replenish the household. And because there is no prerequisite, anybody can come get the food. Now, another thing that the school has done and has partnered with is touching the world. Oh, thank you. Another thing that the school has partnered with to cater to nutrition is partnered with a food nutrition brand, a multivitamin brand called Haya. Highly recommend, fully organic, made specifically for kids. I wanted to see if there was another box. Oh, here they are. So the kids are provided, and this is a long-standing partnership with Haya. This is a multivitamin. This is the superfoods that taste like chocolate that you put in your water. And there's some other things. They're not all here. They're in different rooms, but we give these things out for free to give kids the nutrition that they need. Because here's the thing, if a child is going hungry at home, which we hope no one is, if a child is going hungry at home, then they're not getting the nutrients and the minerals that they need to, function daily. So even if they're not getting the full nutrients from food, we have multivitamins here and to give away to still serve. Now, I'm at the Harmony Center, my favorite place. It's so serene. We have greenery everywhere. We have doll houses and stuffed animals over there for play therapy. We have these cute little tents that, kids can just play in. Because sometimes kids, they just sometimes need a break, right? Like they probably don't want to be in classroom all day, or maybe they're having a tough time because something happened at home before they got dropped off. So sometimes this is a place for them to just relax, let their big feelings come down, stabilize. But this is the entire room that's dedicated to that. We have a piano for any children that have music therapy lessons. And this is usually the table that us MSWs sit at. But I really, really love this room. It's one of my favorite rooms. It's very like monastery feel. But let's jump back into it. If anybody has any questions, please jot them down in the chat and I'll get to them as we go along. But let's take a step further. I don't want this on my face. So let's take it a step further. Okay, so why is this right here? I don't want this right here. I was trying to try something new. So the other thing that I really love about this place is we have a resource center. So remember I was talking about the needs that we want to fulfill. So if a family has to worry less about food, guess what? You can come pick up food. If a family needs therapy, because we do offer therapy to families as well, whether you attend the school or not, we do that here as well. So mental health taken care of. And then third, we have a resource center down the street on Crenshaw. It is across the street from the Church's Chicken on 48th and Crenshaw. If you know where that is, you know where it is. Right before Leimert Park, we have a free resource center. So this center, no prerequisites involved. You can come as you are and you can get free clothes for your kids, your toddlers, yourself. We even have men's clothes. We have clothing that is casual. We have clothing for in interviews or work. So professional wear, and we even have shoes, sometimes even toys and household goods, as well as hygiene products. So that is a free given as well. We also have food there as well, not as much as the pantry. We have sometimes canned goods, waters, juices, just different things. It changes every week. But that's another need that we try to fulfill for our parents or the community in general, because like I said, you do not have to be a student or have a student to get that free resource. Now the fourth thing, this is what's making me think about doing round 2 of my internship. So back in March, the school purchased property and we now have an apartment building called Harmony Village. It is, if I'm not mistaken, in Koreatown. And we are trying to negate the housing crisis and provide low income. So we have not apartment building, but rooms from 1 bedroom all the way to 3 bedroom. And the cost varies, but I know the 1 bedroom is like $1,300 and so dollars. The other bedrooms, I'm not sure. I only know that because I had the flyer for the 1 bedroom. And what comes along with that is case management services, therapy, free groceries every week, utilities paid for, gas, and I want to say I might be missing something, but those are like the major things that you're getting. And in LA, that is like so unheard of. They're still interviewing and giving people callbacks from the application. If you are interested in where that is and how to apply, go ahead and comment below. Each time I get a comment, I'm able to see that as a notification. I can give you the link directly. Or you know what, I can just put it on the description and feel free to apply at your own will. I'm not sure how much of the housing capacity they have left, but that is a huge pivotal point. Never have I ever heard of a school other than colleges making their own apartment buildings like on campus or next to the campus to generate more income. But it's not even just about generating income for this specific school entity and the stakeholder partnership that they have. They are trying to combat the housing crisis and how expensive it is, and how that parents have to work more than 40 hours sometimes to make ends meet outside of state programming. And sometimes, when I say state programming, I mean like CalFresh, Section 8, like if they don't have those type of subsidies to assist, it's hard out here. So I love that the school is going one extension ahead and providing housing and really trying to give people the things that they need to thrive, especially with young kids at that. So one thing I did not mention that I just thought of is the goal for those who are applying to the housing. The goal is to assist them with getting a house within a year or two, working with our stakeholders, whether state or federal or local entities, helping them get housing so they can have a home, a long and forever home. So that's one thing that I am considering, like, hey, maybe I need to do a round two, because that's hitting not only it's hitting all three things that I want to be a part of, which is micro, macro, and meso. And because this has started up towards the tail end of my internship, I hadn't had a chance to see the apartment. I haven't had a chance to do the case management work, or even therapy assistance or providing resources for that specific target audience, which I really would want to be a part of. So I'm going to reach out to the principal later this week, more than likely today, because it's the last day of my internship, to see how I can still be a part of that progress and get the pilot part of it going and running, and possibly coming back for my round two of my internship. Now, I want to do another video separately, so if anybody has any questions, go ahead and roll out your questions now. Go ahead and roll out the questions now. So one thing that I want to cover for the next videos moving forward is how to find your placement, how you can see if your school has any partnerships for placements, how to narrow down your niche, how to schedule out your hours if you have a job, if you don't have a job, and whatever questions that may come up at the end. I want to get into the nitty-gritty of the internship process because it hasn't been all roses. I don't want to say anything bad about the school, but it's really about my experience. So I'm going to do a part two of this, but I'm just really proud of myself for completing my internship process. I really want to give myself flowers for seeing it through and finding such a great placement for me at where I am in my time frame right now, and connecting with the interns that I've been able to connect with, because without this internship experience, I wouldn't have connected with other people within different cultures, different backgrounds, and kind of hyping each other as we hit our milestones towards completing graduation. One huge tip that I'm going to give anybody that's in their MSW and they have not started their internship process: if you have not started looking for partnerships, do it now. I was able to find my placement back in July of last year, and I didn't start until December, so I had a huge window to mentally prepare, get documents done, get my insurance that I needed. If you want me to create a checklist of things, 9 times out of 10, your school is going to give you your checklist. But if you are interested into this social work MSW program, you have not started yet, write checklists, and I will generate a checklist of things that you mentally need to prepare for and things that you need to get in order to start your internship process. But I would say that would be the biggest thing. And then the second biggest thing is really fully immersing yourself into the process, but also having your boundaries, because I've heard a lot of times when you go into internships for MSW, they just try to run you in the ground, give you this much work, because essentially your free labor are getting not paid under the table, but getting paid on a lower scale unless you're actually hired with that job already. What else? Another huge tip that I'm going to give is fully utilize your LCSW. That's the licensed clinical social worker, and that's my ultimate goal to get to. Every week that you have your one-on-one supervision, ask as many questions as you can, even about where you're trying to go in the future, because essentially they're getting paid to assist you. And if you want mentorship afterwards, I'm not sure about anybody else, but mentorship pays. So not pays, like you have to pay for mentorship, you have to pay for the knowledge. So if you can get all of your answers while you are in that program, that would help a lot, because I kind of bounced around for different ideas and like, what do you think about this? And if I'm going to go this route, how should I go about this route? And really building that rapport versus just checking in with like that typical supervisor and you're like, oh, I'm just trying to leave it all professional. Of course, leave it professional, but build enough rapport so that way that person is enlightened to give you a letter of recommendation, enlightened to think of you when it comes to hiring, enlightened to help you on your journey. I know that in the past, like places that I've worked, like I literally just tried to keep it just supervisor, like, yeah, I got that one letter of recommendation, but then nothing else after. And I feel like I've learned a lot from having a BS, having a MPH, and now a MSW, like the network and relationships that we keep and nurture over time. So not just having a good work experience, but even after you leave that work experience, being able to communicate with them. Hey, how you doing? How's life? Oh, you moved this place. How's it been? Those connections are going to get us a lot further than just those one-time meetups. So that's one thing that I'm being intentional about moving forward, is keeping tabs on people, but also not just to play like a networking game, but if I'm genuinely interested in you and wanting to see you succeed as a person, I want to support you moving forward in whatever that looks like. So I'm really glad that I was able to do that here, and I can't wait for the next steps. So if you're ready for the next social work video, follow, subscribe, comment checklist, comment your questions, and that lets me know what social work video to reel out next. Follow my next part of my journey, because I'm going to do a lot more vlogs about my social work experience, for the simple fact that nobody probably knows I'm in a whole master's program and I'm 2 years postpartum. So yay! I'll see you guys later. Oh, actually, let's go to the food pantry. I'm gonna try to keep everything kind of cordial. I don't know if I can turn the mute down because there's kids outside, so I'm gonna have the phone down for a little bit, only because I don't want to get any kids' faces. So let's go outside. You guys get to see a little bit more of the building. Main door. We're having a program right now, a program for the summer. It's for special needs children. Okay. So we're heading to the pantry. Heading to the pantry. We get this lovely truck 3 times a week to bring in all the food. Where we getting the food? I don't know. You looking for me?
Always. Got me back. I'm gonna pick up these boxes. Don't let me. I don't want to.
You want me to help you?
No.
Okay.
No, I got it.
All right. Y'all need any more help?
They put stuff in the box.
Really? Okay, I got maybe like 20 more minutes for my doctor. Right here? Okay. So these aren't all the boxes. Just to make sure, this one and this one. Okay. So I'm gonna give it. Okay. Hey. Hello. So we have a row, whole rows. These? I don't even know what's in here. I'm not sure. She just told me to bring it out. Yeah, I don't know if it's where it's going. But yes, a row of all this food, and they continue to pack boxes all the way up until, you know, the last person comes, and then this is where people line up outside that gate right there, for food. And yeah, so let me jump in, help where I can, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.